Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to start off this video by saying thank you so much for all the support you've shown in the last two videos. I think we're approaching 40,000 views combined on those videos, and along with that, we did reach 1,000 subs, so we are now fully partnered and have ads on videos so we can make money, which is amazing. And on top of that, not only did we get 1,000 subs, but we completely destroyed that goal, and we're at 1,250 subs now. We gained almost 300 subs in the last 2 days, which is insane to me, and I thank you guys so much. So if you want to keep seeing videos like this, zombie speed runs and stuff like that, then make sure you sub to the channel, like the videos, comment on the videos, so I know to keep making stuff like this. Anyways, let's get into the guide. Starting with the loadout, you're going to want to use the XM4. You're going to want to have decoys to distract zombies early. You're going to want to have the combat axe to use for the Stamin-Up speed boost. Now, if you plan on submitting a no gum run to the ZWR leaderboards, you're going to want to set your first 3 gums as whimsicals, because these are the new rules to make sure that people aren't using gobble gums accidentally. Moving on to the attachments for our guns, first up you have your optic. This is just personal preference. I like the Merlin Mini. Moving on to the muzzle brake, you're going to want to use a suppressor for every weapon because it increases your salvage drops. The barrel is personal preference. I like the reinforced barrel personally because it gives you a little bit of extra range and velocity. Precision grip decreases recoil. It's pretty good. I would recommend using that one. For the mag, you want to go with the 100 round mag because more ammo is always better. For the grip, I use the quick draw grip just because the ADS speed is good. And the stock, I use the new heavy stock. And lastly, for the fire mod, I personally use rapid fire, but if you're struggling with recoil a little bit, you can throw on the recoil springs. Now jumping into the GS45s, we're also going to want to use the suppressor for this gun. Same reason as before, you need that extra salvage. I'm going to be using the reinforced barrel as well for the extra range. You're going to want to use extended mag as always. And one of the most important parts of this build, you're going to want akimbo, because having 2 of these instead of 1 is really, really good. And lastly, rapid fire. Now moving on to our field upgrades, you're going to be wanting using Aether Shroud with Burst Dash and Extra Charge. Moving on to perks, starting with PhD, you're going to want to use PhD Slider and Tribologist. Tribologist is the one that makes you slide really far, so you need that one. For Stamina Up, you're going to be wanting using Dasher to increase your attack sprint duration, and Hotfoot, which enables your Tomahawk to give you a speed boost. And for the ammo mod you're going to be using, which is Napalm Burst, you want to use Big Game so you can burn elite enemies, and Contact Burn, which increases the damage you initially deal. Now up next, you can kind of just copy the ones I show on screen now. These are just because you are potentially able to get a perk from the vending machine Easter egg in spawn. So I have a few of those perks set up with the following augments. Just copy them. It's not super important. It's kind of just in case you do get them. Up next, if you want to have a highlight around the zombies in the way that I do, just go to your settings, search for high contrast, select high contrast mode, and make sure this is turned on. And when you go to the show more option, just make sure enemies is on. I have everything else off because all I care about is the zombies. If you're fine with the zombies being red, you can just leave it as default. If you want them to be a different color though, you're going to go up and click color customization just above high contrast mode. And from there, if you go to enemy, see it's set to red by default, you can change that to whatever color you want it to be. I know some people prefer blue, but you can set it to whatever. Now I'm quickly going to show you how to do the PhD slide spam. First, you're going to go to your keyboard and mouse, then keybinds, find movement advanced keybinds, and in here you will find a section that says slide. You need to set this to whatever key you're most comfortable holding down at all times. Now this doesn't mean you can't use your normal crouch and slide. That's perfectly fine. As you can see, I have mine still bound, but you have to have this secondary bind specifically for the slide key. And that's because this is the only way that the slide spam really works super consistently. If you try to use your normal crouch / slide bind, it doesn't really let you spam it very well. And the second thing you're going to need is to turn on sprint assist. Now if you want to use normal sprint assist as I have on mine, you can do that. If you want to use tactical sprint assist, that also works, but you have to have one of those two on. Now once you have your keybind set correctly, all you need to do to slide is hold that keybind that we set to slide and move forward, and that's it. It will automatically slide for you. As you can see here, as soon as I move forward, it starts sliding. And now to do the spam slide, while you're holding the slide key and moving forward, you're going to spam click your sprint button. And the faster you click your sprint, the more you'll spam. Now you need to learn this for speedrunning in Black Ops 6 Zombies because it is by far the fastest way to get around the map, besides maybe the Stamin-Up Augment. That is arguably slightly faster, and we'll get into that in a second. But this is going to be the main way you get around the map quickly during your speedruns, so it's really important to get this down. Now, for the Stamin-Up Augment, all you're going to want to do is just throw a tomahawk at a zombie that you're also running in the same direction as, just so you don't have to kind of like turn around or go around a corner or something. And as you can see, when you hit them with the tomahawk and kill them, it gives you an insane speed boost, and this is really, really good for speedrunning. Now, moving on to the most important part of the speedrun, which is the route. You're going to start off by turning on the rampage inducer as soon as you spawn in, then run down here to the right, mount your XM4 on this wall, and grab your double points power up on the water tower. Now I'll zoom in on this so you can see exactly where it's at. As you can see right at the corner where these two metal pieces meet, you're going to shoot just above that bottom one, and that is where your double points is. Now once you have your double points, you're going to wait until a couple of zombies jump up on this platform with you, then you're going to end the round as soon as possible. As soon as you get that last zombie down and you end the round, you're going to run over to the door where you craft the jet gun, because this gives you a bunch of extra zombies to really take advantage of that double point. If you get really lucky, you will get a bonus points during this double, which is best case scenario. And as soon as you drop down, you're going to want to finish this round as soon as possible, again to really take advantage of this double points. Also make sure to shoot any of these extra spawn zombies if you have any of those. And as soon as round 3 is over, during the round flip, you're going to want to come over by the GS45s off the wall. These are essential to this speedrun. It's easily the best gun in the game. And if you have time, you can come and check the vending machine Easter egg. You can get perks, pack-a-punch crystals, ether tools, all kinds of things that will help speed up your speedrun. Now some of you may be wondering here, this is a speedrun, why am I not grabbing this insta-kill? And that's because kills while using an insta-kill do not fill the charge for your field upgrade. And it's essential to have a field upgrade charged up by the time you get to the jet gun craft. Now by the end of round 3 or beginning of round 4, you want to get another double points, because if you don't, you most likely won't have enough points to do the speedrun. As you can see here, I got mine on round 4. Just make sure when you pick up that double points, you end this round as soon as possible, so you can get the max amount of points from the next round as well. Now if you get unlucky and get round 5 bugs, just restart. I promise you it's not worth the headache. Now, as you can see here on round 5, this is your time to use the decoy. The decoy helps you end this round way faster than normal because all the zombies are going to line up in front of you. And once you end round 15, you're going to want about 15,000 points or more, because if you don't, you might not have enough for Stamin-Up when you go to craft the jet gun, and Stamin-Up is very important for this speedrun. Now coming out the bowling alley, you want to be halfway up these steps before the bugs start spawning, and then you're going to dive and grab PhD. The reason you want to be halfway up those steps is because if you are, the bugs will spawn in the orientation that is in this video, exactly the same way every single time. Now once you're done with the bug round, you're going to go ahead, buy this door, buy the door to the church, turn on the machine, and then go to Pack-a-Punch. As soon as you Pack-a-Punch, you're going to leave the church to the graveyard, look for the gravekeeper. Luckily I got him extremely fast. He might be on the opposite end, so you need to run there as fast as possible so he does not get away. Now if you did get the gravekeeper's key, you're going to want to end round 7 as fast as possible and get 1250 salvage for a mangler cannon. If you don't get the salvage you need, that is another reset. Now once you make sure you have enough salvage, you're going to go ahead and go down here to the left and open the shed for your first jet gun part. Now as soon as you get this jet gun part, you're going to want to come back out and slide towards this crafting station and buy a mangler cannon. Now I know this looks difficult, so if you need to stand still to buy this, that's perfectly fine, but with enough practice you can get that down pretty easily. Now once you buy your mangler cannon, you're going to run down here to the right and grab your valve for the bowling alley jet gun part. Now while you're coming down here, you're going to want to pull out your mangler cannon so you can open the door to the second jet gun part, and as soon as you get inside, you're going to want to use the mangler cannon again, because you need to only have one use left to do the mangler cannon glitch for the valve step. This is one area where the PhD slide spam is really helpful. Now, as you're entering the bowling alley, you're going to want to pull out your mangler cannon to shoot off this panel, and as soon as you shoot the panel, you're going to place the valve and then start the valve step at the same time. Now if you time this correctly, as you can see, it allows you to use your GS45s during this step, which means you don't have to stop and start the water pressure multiple times. Now during this water pressure step, you want about 3,500 points. More is always better, obviously, but the minimum is 3,500 because you want to buy Stamin-Up and also be able to open the door to get the first LTG part. Now you also want to keep an eye out for your salvage drops here, because if you get 500 salvage during this step, it just makes later a little bit easier when you have to put Napalm Burst on your GS45s. Now once your jet gun part pops out, you're going to want to melee the Stamin-Up and buy it, and then use this railing to slide and use Aether Shroud at the same time. As you can see, it gives you a huge boost and you don't have to run up the stairs. Now once your jet gun is crafted, you're going to run to the first LTG part. And now is the time to use your first tomahawk. As soon as you walk out here, throw your tomahawk at this guy so you can get a big speed boost to go to the second LTG part. Now we're going to be lining up to get this LTG part through the roof. Just kind of look in the general area where I'm at. Sometimes it's a little bit inconsistent, but it works. And in this spot is your second chance to use a throwing knife. As you can see, I didn't do it because I wasn't thinking about it, but that's a good spot to use one as well to go and get your last LTG part. Now after you leave the church, you're going to go left to the zip line. You're going to make sure to have the GS45s out so you can do the Mangler Head Easter egg while you're on the zip line. Again, utilize your slide here to get to the crafting as soon as possible. And as you're crafting, just take note of where these zombies are on your left, because when you're going back over, you can shoot them to get a few more points before you reach the end. Now as soon as you reach the end, you're going to run up, place your LTG, then you're going to go back towards the Aether trap to grab your first Aetherella statue with the jet gun. Running back up here is another great time to take advantage of your tomahawk. Unfortunately, I didn't have a zombie here, but if you do, you want to hit him. Now you're going to grab your second Aetherella statue and pull her all the way into the church because you're going to need her during the boss fight. Go ahead and grab your first canister while the LTG is going. If you have enough points, you can buy ammo there. Obviously, I did not have enough points. And what I prefer to do here is I just leave the canister right here at the steps, protect this, and when there's about 4 seconds left, that's when I go and put Napalm Burst on my guns. I just prefer to stick around and protect this a little longer. Now if you had a situation like mine here, where buying ammo puts you at almost no points, you're going to want to take some time to grab the points from the Mangler Head Easter egg, because that can give you enough to turn on the Aether trap. And as I said before, when I get to around 3 or 4 seconds left, I'm going to go ahead and buy Napalm Burst, and in this case, I did have to grab the points from the Mangler Head Easter egg. Normally, if you budget correctly, you won't have to do that, but if you do end up having to do that, it's not really the end of the world. Now, killing the HVT is pretty straightforward. For the Abomination, you just want to shoot its faces. It can be pretty annoying dealing with a bunch of zombies around you, so just try your best not to die. If you're going to go down, don't just try to focus the Abomination. Make sure you kill those zombies. There's no point in throwing a decent run just because you want to get the damage done faster. Once you get him weak, you're going to drop your canister in the Aether trap area. You're going to want to kill him inside that zone while he is slowed. Now, looks can be deceiving sometimes. He might appear to be in the zone, but if he is not slowed down, it will not fill the canister. So make sure that he is walking slowly before you kill him. Now, making our way up to the church, we're going to insert our first filled canister and then grab the Strauss counter. Now, I like to slide backwards here. It doesn't really make that big of a difference. But you're going to run up to this alley, jump to the side here, and grab the LTG. And then make your way to the left, jump up the back of this railing, and jump across to get your first projector. Now, if you don't know how the projector colors work, I'll throw up a little thing on screen here just to show you which colors correlate to what on your Strauss counter. Now, after you've gotten your first one, you're going to run over to the second one at PhD. You're going to grab the full power while flipping the light here. Now, once you have your full power, you're going to run over here, grab your other Aetherella statue, and then head straight to the second LTG step. Now, as soon as you place your LTG, you're going to want to use your first Aether Shroud to get back over the wall, and then go up to the top of the bank. Now, once you get up here, you can go ahead and check your Strauss counter. I messed up here a little bit, but all that matters is once you check it and start this barrier opening, you turn around and grab this nuke power up to protect the LTG. Once you drop down, you're going to start grabbing this other Aetherella statue while flipping the light for your last projector. Now, leaving the last projector, you're going to go in here and grab 4 Aetherella statues. Now, for the most part, your LTG should be safe around this time, If you notice while going to this statue right here that I'm at, if you notice that the announcer starts saying that the LTG is too weak, you can run straight there and start protecting it, as I did in this case. But if the announcer hasn't said anything yet, you can always grab the last Aether statue during this as well. Now, if you weren't able to get your last Aether statue earlier, you can do that now while the portal is stabilizing, so you don't waste any time. Now, ideally, you want to be back to the HVT before he fully spawns. In this case, I wasn't. It's not a huge time loss, but it does save a little bit of time if you're right next to him, because especially with the Mangler, if you're right in front of him, he will basically just chase you the entire way and not stop to use his Mangler cannon. But regardless, once you get him weak enough, you're going to drop your canister, turn on the Aether Trap, and finish him off. If you run out of ammo, you can always use the right click on the jet gun, as I did here. Now, once you pick up the second canister, it is the perfect time to be using your combat axe. Unfortunately, I only had one in this run. If you have more, it's going to be a huge time save because you run really, really slow with these canisters. Having that Stamin-Up speed boost really helps. Now, once you get up to the church, you're going to insert your second canister and then interact it with the machine to start the final boss fight. At this point, you are mostly home free. All you really have to worry about is staying alive and killing the Manglers. Now, during this first phase, you want to kill most of the normal zombies with the jet gun because it kills them instantly. Be careful with killing them around the back here near your Aether statue. If you accidentally use that last statue, it's going to mess up the entire boss fight and you're going to have to reset. Now, during this first phase, you're going to get a total of 3 Mangler spawn. You're going to have to kill all 3 of them and then finish off some last bit of zombies to get an armor power-up drop to spawn, and that's when you know you've reached the end of the first phase. Now, this second phase is going to be pretty similar to the first. Once you end it, as you can see here, you're going to want to kill the zombies in the second phase with a jet gun as well, and all you're doing is waiting for a Mangler to spawn. Now, there's 2 ways to time the correct use of your Aether statue, and that's to either wait for 35 seconds from the beginning of the second phase, or the way I do it sometimes is to wait until the Mangler spawns and then slowly kill zombies while walking my way towards the Aether statue. That seems to be pretty consistent. Both ways are perfectly fine. I will say though, however, this is not 100% consistent. We still don't completely understand how this boss fight works. This works, I would say, maybe 70 or 80% of the time, and for some reason, sometimes it just doesn't work. Now, as you can see, one of the most important parts about using Aetherella against these bosses is shaking your mouse back and forth. It seems a little ridiculous and like overkill, but the faster you shake your mouse back and forth while having your boss centered, the faster that boss will die. So this is an extremely important part of the speedrun. Again, I know it looks ridiculous, but you have to do that. Now, you want your max ammo power-up to spawn roughly 20 seconds or faster after killing that Mangler boss, and this is because if you don't, again, you get the timing wrong and now your entire boss fight is messed up. But if you do get that max ammo to drop in time, then you are pretty much home free at this point. All you have to worry about is there's one Mangler that spawns between now and the main boss. You just want to kill him as fast as possible, along with all the ads around the room, because the more you kill now, the less you have to kill after the boss, which speeds up your end time. As you can see right here, shake your mouse, kill the Mangler as soon as you can, and now you're just waiting for your boss. Now, your boss can either spawn up by Pack-a-Punch or down here by the door like it did for me. Just make sure you keep an eye out for him. And again, as you can see, once he spawns, make sure you're shaking your mouse back and forth as fast as you can, because it kills him insanely quickly. Now, once you kill your boss, you are practically done with your Easter egg. All you need to do now is kill zombies until you hear Panos say the end is nigh. That is the voice line that he says before you get downed and the Easter egg ends. And congratulations, you have successfully done a full speedrun of Liberty Falls. Now, if you enjoyed this guide, make sure to sub to the channel, like the video, comment down below, let me know if you enjoyed it, and if there's anything else that happens with this route or the speedrun in general, I'll make sure to update a pinned comment in the comment section. But with that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you, my friends, for volunteering to take my place here. Or, in your parlance, thank you for being voluntold. Now, if you will excuse me, I have a few scores to settle.